despite the fact that insurers don't always reward best practices or feel they can't, or I think when we talk with insurers, they frequently feel like they're a bit at the mercy of the market. But the flip side, when you talk with enterprises, they feel like cyber insurers rule the world. Like the cyber insurance sector is the one making all the calls about what is good in cyber insurance, and everyone follows their lead. I think they are both true. Cyber insurers are the market makers in the space, but they are restricted by the fact that it's a soft market, not always having the tools they want. They don't always have the freedom they would necessarily be looking for. I think from the cyber insurer's perspective, this can be boiled down to three things. One, like I just mentioned earlier, soft market. There may be controls they want to implement, but they don't feel they necessarily have the market leverage to do so if customers would prefer that those controls not be implemented. Second is not having the right tools. So like I may want to implement a control that principle of least privilege must always be enforced. If I don't have a tool that can actually monitor that in real time, I don't practically have the ability to enforce that control. And so these controls exist only in theory. But the third one, and I think maybe the most important, is a desire not to be punitive. So nearly all cyber breaches can in some sense be attributed to negligence, in the sense that the defender did something wrong, and if they hadn't done that thing wrong, they would not have been successfully breached. If, as a cyber insurer, you say that any negligence on the part of the client voids the policy, you will never pay out a policy. To some extent, the defender has to be free to make mistakes because that's how these things happen in the real world. So you can consider, like, as you're referencing the examples we made earlier, if as a cyber insurer, I have a survey that says, do you use MFA? Do you consistently apply it? And the customer checks yes, in honesty. And then they forget to apply MFA to one account, and that's the account the attacker used to get in. Then as a cyber insurer, I might feel, then what good did MFA do? Right? If you're not using MFA, I know you're negligent. That might be grounds to say you're uninsurable. But the fact that you are using MFA doesn't tell me you're safe. All I can do is look for things that are bad, and if I don't find them, hope that the rest is good. And this both means insurers can't reward best practices. They might like to. A tool might not be strongly correlated, and it also creates sectors that are uninsurable. It's like you mentioned SMBs earlier. Like if I'm a cyber insurer and I want to offer cyber insurance to a bakery, my default assumption is there's no one in that bakery who has any understanding of cybersecurity good practices, because in most industries of that type, there would not be, which either makes the risk profile for them so high that I may not be able to offer them a policy they'd find appealing, or I may just decide that they're uninsured.